Hi friends, welcome to episode 23, yes, of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere on social media as Nadir Tani. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida where it is quite sunny, as you can see. Had to move my little seating. I was sitting in the grass, but the sun was just like way too intense. Thank you so much for coming to spend a little more time with me this week. Sit down. Good girl. This is Tootie. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, thank you so much for spending some more time with me. I'm trying out this attempting to podcast once a week thing. We'll see how it goes. Yes. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming by, and let me know how you found my podcast. I know I'm a smaller channel, so I would love to know like how you came across me. So let me know. I'm curious. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I have, I think, a couple fun things to show you. You can see little Miss Kiva in the background there, just surveying her territory. She's such a regal beagle. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Anywho, we also have a Ravelry group. You can find it by searching, of course, Quirky Monday Craftcast on the groups tab in Ravelry. I have started a Ask Me Anything or Ask a Questions thread on there, and I'm wanting to do like a question and answer kind of bonus episode. So go over to the Ravelry group, ask me questions. I want to know what you guys want to know about little old me. Yes, so I think that's everything that I wanted to say at the beginning. My name, where you can find me, a group, welcome. I think that's everything. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but it'll come to me later if I am. So we are going to start off with some finished projects, and the first one that I want to show you, 2 videos ago, I think on my channel, if you look, the last 2 videos, there was a watercolor watercolor paint with me video that I did, and this is the finished galaxy print, or galaxy painting rather. I'm so proud of myself. This is my first time trying like the galaxy watercolor situation, and of course I had to pay homage to my favorite constellation, Orion. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. If you watch the video, you will see that this is not the color scheme that I started with. I wanted to do like a yellow and green kind of galaxy, but you know, as happens a lot when you are actively creating something, a lot of times the idea that you start with just morphs throughout the process into something completely different at the end, which is completely cool because I really love this. I'm gonna frame it. Every so often I talk about the craft room that I will have in my home of the future. This will definitely be up on that wall. I'm thinking like a square frame, maybe something like really minimalist and white would be nice with this print in it. We'll see. So that's the first one, and then the next painting that I finished is another kind of galaxy print. Well, not really a galaxy print. It's more like a night scene. And it looks like this. I love this one as well. Doing like the shooting stars was kind of tricky because a long time ago I did a painting where you created shooting stars by using spray paint, like a spray paint can. You turned it upside down and put the nozzle onto like the canvas or whatever you're painting on, and you tap the can so it's sprayed out upside down. So I was like, okay, I can use that same idea on here on a smaller scale by putting like a dollop of paint and then blowing through a straw. Did not work. So I ended up just like taking my really thin paintbrush, dipping it in the white paint, and then going. I don't know why I tried to do it like the super hard way. But yeah, uh-oh, everything's blowing away. This is the nighttime scene. I really love it. The inspiration from the trees came from a new YouTube channel. Well, her channel is not new. It's a new to me YouTube channel. Can't remember her name right now off the top of my head, but I'll put her information on the screen. She does a lot of like bullet journaling and doodling and some painting, and what I love most about her is she has like the calmest voice. Like I was just listening to her videos just like on a playlist and just letting them play one behind the other just because they were so relaxing while I was painting this. So yeah, I'll definitely put her info down there if you are interested in checking her out. She's very inspirational. I will also link the YouTube channel that I found out about her from because they're very similar in their aesthetic and like the content they put out. Yes. So this is the last watercolor piece that I have to show you. It's like just a wash of color, and I tried like writing with my watercolors. So I made this, and of course, you know, it has my word of the year, radiate, and my favorite colors. I mean, is anyone surprised? Is anyone surprised about this? I'm not. So I was just practicing like blending colors to get like kind of an even tone, like a wash across. I didn't do too bad, I don't think. And I didn't do too bad with the writing either. Of course, there's always room for improvement. So I haven't picked up my paints in the past week. Yeah, I think I did this last Saturday night. Today's date is January 21st, I think. So these paintings, I want to say I did them last Saturday night. Yeah, 2 Saturdays ago. So those are my three finished paintings. I'm so proud of myself. I love them. Last episode I mentioned, at least I think I mentioned, like vision boarding with my friend Tiffany. I may have. I definitely know I did mention that my word of the year is radiate. So a couple weeks ago I went over to my friend Tiffany's house and we were making vision boards. Hers came out a whole lot cooler than mine, but you know, to each his own. And this is the one that I made for myself. I think I'm gonna rework it. So what I did was, of course, I have radiate in the middle, and then I have my goals or intentions for designing, for making, publishing, and then some other things that I want to radiate, like radiate kindness to others, confidence in myself, love to others, and peace during frustration. So I want to focus on a lot of different ways to radiate these energies out towards others as well as in towards myself. So that's what that is. It needs a frame, it needs a home so that I can see it like all the time. There's a bag under my seat and it's trying to make a run for it. Okay. So those are my first finished objects. I do have a yarny finished object, which you would have got a peek of as I was moving around. So this doesn't have any ends woven in, but this is the life I live. This is my Puppy Love Shawl 2, well, number 2. And it's pretty much done. This is the front, like the right right side, and the wrong side. So I will show you some of the details up close. You have the solid and mesh sections, the crochet brioche. So there's the wrong side of the brioche and the right side. And then another lace panel, or not panel, section, stripe, whatever. And then another solid, and it ends with reverse single crochet, or like the crab stitch. This is still a little bit damp because I finished it late last night and then set it out to block. So it's not completely dry, but I love it. I worked through my pattern, and the pattern works. So I think I mentioned this last time, I have everything written out, like actual like row instructions of the solid bits and the lace bits, or the mesh bits. I don't have row by row instructions of the brioche. I just have my notes for the brioche, so I need to make those like understandable to others. And yes, this finished about 20 grams heavier than my first one, because I added, I think, 2 extra rows of the crochet brioche, and I made some changes in the other numbers and everything like that, but the overall idea is still the same. I made this out of Patton's Classic Wool DK Superwash. The yellow is gold, this is AUREN, and then this is black. It used 300 grams, so the Patton's yarn comes in 50-gram balls, so 300 grams to make the shawl. I am going to do one more test run, I think, just to get like the numbers right, with how much, like the quantities right of each color. I do like it as a 3-color shawl as opposed to the 2-color one that I was planning on doing when I talked about it last episode. But this is what I've done. This right here is kind of how I'm thinking I'll have the final color run go. Color A, color B, the brioche between A and B, and then color C being the mesh and the solid of the last bit. So that's how I'm thinking it's gonna go. So one more puppy love shawl, and then I believe it'll be ready for testing. Oh, okay, so that was puppy love shawl. Well, see, the sun is coming for me. It's right there. The second puppy love shawl. So that is all done. I'm gonna let it finish drying, and yeah, and then weave in all the ends. When I decided to put the black on the bottom, originally I had picked out like a heathered gray, but I only had one ball of that and ran out. So I ripped that all back, and then I decided to do the black, which, because of the life I lead with Kiva and Toot, this may not have been the best choice, because they have little white hairs, and there's dog hairs all over it. I don't know why I just held that up, because you definitely can't see them, but in real life, dog hair everywhere. It's like glitter. You can never get rid of it. So yeah, puppy love shawl. And that is everything for my finished projects, or things all done. And now we are into works in progress. I have 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Yes, I have 3. One of them is a hoe, a half object if you don't speak the lingo. And this is my pie sock. it still needs a clever name. Like, I put it on Instagram and asked for names suggestions, and I realized after people started suggesting things that I never said that the stripe sequence was pie. So people were saying like, oh, like lemon lime, or there was something else. I can't remember a lot of them, but there were some that were really cool. And one name, I can't remember what it was. I'll put it at the bottom. I was like, ooh, I'm going to keep that because I feel like that would be a fun design, like to design something around that name. But here's my first sock. Hooray! So there is the pie stripe sequence, which I only have it memorized up to, I think here. It's like 3.1415926. I'm counting now. 535 8 9 7 9 3 89793. Yeah. So I did it like that, and then because I wanted the heel to be yellow, I did the heel on the back of the last row of yellow here. Normally when I knit my socks, I do like all of the rows that are going to be in the leg, and then I work one more row for the front, and then on the back of it I do my short row heel, and then I do all of the rows that are going to be in the foot. And I'll typically do 75 rows for the foot if it's like a basic sock yarn. Yeah. I picked up 2 stitches in the corners and then immediately decreased them out to close any holes. So that's what that little green jog is on that side. And then this one I picked up in the yellow. It doesn't bother me that that little jog is there because a hole is not there, and a hole would bother me much more. So the rounded toe here is my favorite toe recipe, which is one that I modified from like a basic rounded toe. I guess to do like a basic rounded toe, you kind of, for an example, would be like a decrease row, and then you knit 4 rows, a decrease row, you knit 3 rows, decrease, knit 2, decrease, knit 1, and then decrease until you're down to whatever the number of stitches are that you want to Kitchener. But I modified the number of knit rows in between the decrease rows just to get it to the length that I like, and this is my jam. So there's that. On the inside of the sock, I just carried the yarn up the side and kind of like twisted them around each other when I changed the colors. I don't know if this is the best way to do this, especially like in there where it just, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but it's working. Nothing's unraveling and there aren't holes. Seems like it's working to me. So yeah. The heel is my usual double wrap and turn heel, short row heel down to 10 live stitches, and German twisted cast on, 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing. The yellow is Dance With Me Beast by Yarn Cafe Creations, and the green is Dyed by Me. It's that one green, and I love how it's working up. It's so beautifully variegated. I definitely need to dye some more of this. So that is the finished sock, and then I have the in progress. And then I have this much yarn left. Yeah. I think I'm in the middle of this green stripe. This is my cheat sheet. Yeah. I have one more row of green and then switch back to yellow. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more stripes before I go into the heel. So those, I need to hurry up and get those off of my needles because I have other socks that I need to cast on that kind of have a deadline, which I will talk about in a little bit. But that's living in one of my Quirky Monday bags. This one I originally made for the shop, but I cut the box bottom too small. So this bit on my regular bags is about that wide as opposed to this. So I didn't want to sell it like as a whoopsie or anything. And I love this print because it reminds me of Rocco's Modern Life. Like, I think Rocco's on here. Yeah, here's Rocco. See? Yay! Rocco's Modern Life. Rocco's Modern Life. Let me digress for just a moment. I am loving these Nickelodeon shirts that I'm finding. I need a collection. And on it, I put a pin. It says, "Be brave." Where did I get this? I think I got this from Michael's. Like right now, they have a whole bunch of their like enamel pin sets that they put on clearance for some unknown reason. But if there's a Michael's near you and you want to find some enamel pins, go check them out. They're like sets of 3. And I feel like this set was on sale for like $3. My next work in progress, yeah, we'll do this one. This is one of my very first bags that I made for myself. It is made from thrifted fabric. This is thrifted fabric. The zipper was thrifted. And I think like the green fabric was just some fabric I bought from Joann's a long time ago. But this is the beginning, the first sock of a pair of double snare socks by ERIGALUEDER. I'll do it like this. Can you see that? Yeah. So that's the lace pattern. I've done 2 repeats so far. And this yarn is Happy Fuzzy yarn, the Cory sock base, which is 75% superwash Corridale, 25% nylon, and it's in the Tree Frog colorway. And everyone knows why I picked this yarn. Everybody does. Just gonna leave it there. So yeah, I'm enjoying this pattern. I have put it in my notebook, and this is what I did. I wrote out the lace pattern, and I'm using I'm on this row sticky notes, and I just move it up as I work through the lace. And then I also have this I put in for pattern repeats that I'm doing on the leg. So as I complete a pattern repeat, I color in one of the little triangles. The top triangles for sock 1, the bottom triangles for sock 2. So I am knitting this sock as usual with 64 stitches. I think the pattern itself is written for like 61, 62, 62 stitches. So I just put stitch markers in here and here. So at the beginning of the row, I knit 5 stitches, and then I do the lace panel, and then I knit 4 stitches at the end. And then on the second sock, I'll do 4 stitches, the lace pattern, and then 5, so that they mirror each other. Because that just makes me feel better about everything in my head. I'm gonna do, I believe, 8 repeats of the pattern on the leg, and then on the foot it's gonna work out to 7 repeats, and then there will be I might be able to do 8 repeats and then just modify the edge stitches to include my toe decreases. We'll see how that works out, because I think I'll like that better than doing 7 repeats and then having essentially 7 rows of plain knitting before the toe. I feel like that's going to make the toe look really long. So I'll play around with it and see how I feel. But German twisted cast on, 2x2 ribbing, 20 rows, and then the pattern. Now I do have a question for any lace knitters out there, or anyone who's knit this pattern before or has any insight into yarn overs in knitting. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot a little closer. Alright, so if you look, these yarn overs are quite large, right? They're really, really open. These yarn overs are not so open. These are the ones where you do a yarn over and then an SSK decrease, and these are knit 2 together and then the yarn over. How do I make them match? Like, either how do I make this yarn over smaller or make this yarn over bigger? Because, I mean, I don't want it to look like my lace is lopsided, but these are so much bigger than these. Like, you can almost not even see that there's yarn overs there. Like, there are, because look, there's the mate ones, or the companion ones right there. They're like completely closed up. Can I just do like a double yarn over? Would that work? I'm gonna try it in the next repeat and see how that works, because last year I knit a pair of socks, and there was like a clover motif where one of the hints, or like the not a hint, but like a little, I don't know, pro tip that the designer gave was to do a double yarn over for the second, like the other side. Yarn over, do the decrease business, double yarn over, and continue on your way, because then the yarn overs would match size wise. So I think if I do a double yarn over on this side, that will be better and it'll make them match. If you have any other like tips, tricks, advice on getting those to match aside from doing a double yarn over, please let me know, because I don't want my socks to be janky. Help me. Help me. Because, like, look, that just looks loose. How do I tighten that? Somebody help. I need to tighten this side and loose this side. Also, these would be pretty cool as mitts. Just saying. So, yeah. These socks I will be entering into the So Perfect Pearls, I missed my finger, the So Perfect Pearls spring make along, and I'm hoping to enter them into the Squirrel Pie Productions Pattern Sock Cal. Now the Pattern Sock Cal ends at the end of February, so I don't know if this is going to really make it into there, just because I have another pattern sock that I want to cast on that I'll tell you about a little bit later. So that's that. Here's the ball. And so far, this is my first experience with Corriedale yarn. Am I saying that right? Is it Corriedale or Corriedale? Whatever. I'm not going to Google it. This is my first experience with this I almost said breed of sheep. And it is it's more like, I guess this is what people mean when they say a yarn is toothy. This is definitely more toothy than, say, the Dance With Me Beast, because that one is Superwash Merino. This is the merino, and it's really squishy and really soft and smooth. And this one, it's squishy, but it's more of a firm squish. And this has a more, like a bit more scratchiness to it. It's not as smooth as the merino, which is really cool to, you know, just to see those differences in the breeds. So I'm glad that I had the opportunity to try this out. So I am going to, or I do want to kind of venture out into other sheep breeds to see what their yarn is like, you know? So yeah, that's that. Oh, let me put the ball in first so that we don't make a mess. Oh, and I'm doing 2.25 Chaogu red lace, as usual. My last work in progress is a crochet sweater. It is the Pinwheel sweater. I can't remember the designer, so of course I'll put that information at the bottom. This sweater I'm going to be entering into the Spring Garment Cal that is hosted by LADYWING Crafts. And this is how it looks so far. Let's see. Right now it's kind of like a vest. So you've got your sleeve holes, and I'm just working essentially a huge pinwheel blanket, and when it gets, I'm supposed to continue working in the round until it's large enough to like close across my chest, or however the sentence is going to be all jacked up just because I can't think of how to fix it. I'm supposed to work in the round until it is large enough to close however far I want it to go. Be quiet, you don't want to be out here. Tootie's standing at the door looking at me like I made her go inside. I didn't make her go inside. So now it's going to, because it's round, the top collar is going to continue like draping down like that, kind of making, I don't even know what that kind of collar would be called, but just whatever. So it's going to keep going down like that, and then this part I'm going to continue working until, I'm probably not going to put any kind of closures on it, but I do want it to be, I want to be able to, like, you know, cuddle up in it. So this is like attached to the ball. This is how it looks so far. So yeah, so I've got a bit more to go. Be quiet. Do you want to come back outside? So bossy. All right, so okay, this is up. So yeah, that is the sweater as it is going. No, Kiva. I am crocheting this out of Lion Brand Mandala in the Spirit colorway. And I have finished the first ball. And I was able to, or the way that the colorways go, in the, let me show you. In a ball of mandala, you have like one long color repeat. Like it doesn't repeat within itself. So the first ball that I had went from, like, this is kind of a navy. Oh, duh. Just show it to you because it's right here. So the first ball went from this navy out to the lighter blue, and then the light gray and the medium gray, and then there's a little bit of dark gray right there. And that's where it ended. This ball starts on, it started on like the darker gray. So, or rather on the outside of the ball it was on the darker gray. So I worked from the inside to the outside of the first ball, and then the outside I'll be working in towards the inside of the second ball, just so that the color like blends in and then back out. I think that'll work. So, it's too far away. So that is this. I am still like on the fence on how I'm going to handle the sleeves. The first time I made a sweater with mandala yarn, I was like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna do mismatched sleeves, it'll be fine, whatever. When it came time for me to actually do the sleeves, I was like, nah, I want them to match. So I ended up having to buy another ball of mandala in order to pull out yarn until I got to the same place in the color run as the ball that I had, and then crochet the sleeves matching each other, which now I have basically, I thought it was like the equivalent of one ball. I have basically a ball and a half of mandala yarn in that colorway. What am I going to do with that? So what I'm thinking is I will crochet out this whole ball onto the body, and then this is the yarn left over from that first sweater. This is the genie colorway, and I'm thinking that I should be able to pull like maybe this somewhere in here, like it's about the same, and use this as the sleeves, because it's not too far off of this gray. Like some of this gray does have a bit of a green tinge, so I'll have to like pull out a little more and see how I can make that work. But ideally I would love to make the sleeves out of this so that I can use up as much mandala yarn from my stash as possible. Keep your fingers crossed for me, y'all, because I kind of started this one on a whim. Let me put this down. My original plan for this make along, or this garment cowl, was going to be the Girly Knits bra top in that pink yarn that I showed last week, but it doesn't really fit how she described the knit along to be. Like, she wanted it to be where you make something to, like, something light to keep the spring or fall chill off, which that does not do that, so it doesn't fit. So I went looking for what I can do with the DK weight yarn, which mandala is about a DK weight. I went to find what I could do with 2 balls of that, and this sweater came up. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out, y'all. But I do love the colors, and I'm hoping that it will be like flowy and like one of those cardigans that you just throw on and go. So I'm fingers crossed for that. So yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about in my works in progress section. Yep. So that will move us right along to maker plans. And I have just a couple. I already mentioned that the Girly Knits bra top, I have bumped that. I'm going to, I think I'm going to knit it later, probably more towards the summer, because it's like a spaghetti strap, like tank top. Now, my only concern with that is I have this like exact amount of yarn, like yardage wise, that the pattern calls for the smallest size, which I would be the smallest size, but having exactly the same amount makes me nervous. And the bra top is made from the bottom up, so if I run out, like, you can't just fudge it. So we'll see what comes of that. We'll see, because I'm not trying to make it cropped and have my belly out, because that's just not how I like to get down. I like to keep my belly covered. Keep it covered, keep it covered. So yeah, that has been bumped. I am still planning to do the Chasing Blizzards shawl. That one I said I would cast on after I finished the Puppy Love shawl. So that one, I think I'm actually going to wait and cast that on after this next project I want to tell you about. So I have decided that I want to knit the February Lady Socks by Kate Atherley. Now, the reason I want to knit those is my birthday is in February. It is February 24th, and I will be turning 32. 32. And I want a pair of birthday socks. So, like I said earlier, today is January 21st. So that gives me a little bit over a month, roughly, to knit those socks. I may be pulling a Katie from Inside Number 23, how she's always setting these like super high goals for herself and like chastising herself when she doesn't meet them, because I also want to make a birthday dress, and my birthday falls on a Sabbath, so I plan to be like super fancy at church in my handmade birthday dress. I'm not gonna make it match my birthday socks because I feel like that would just be doing the absolute most, and I don't think I want to do the absolute most, but we'll see. So I want to knit the February Lady Socks, and I have dyed some yarn for the socks, and I'm super excited about it. So I have, I don't know, a few months ago, there was a sale on Knit Picks, and they were clearancing out like their glimmer yarn, which I'm quite sad about. So I bought 2 balls of white glimmer because I was like, I can dye that. That'll be so much fun. I'll keep it in my stash for dyeing. And I dyed up one. This is Knit Picks Stroll in the glimmer base, which is 70% merino, 25% nylon, 5% stellina, and I have 50 grams, so I'll be doing like contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. But here is my birthday sock yarn. Yay! I'm so excited about it. I did kind of a dip dye technique. I did, let's unravel it for you. Okay, so I did a dip dye to get the dark and the light, and then I did some kind of like almost painting to apply a little bit of the darker yarn to the darker color to the lighter sections. I wanted it to be like not so much of a red purple, but having like tints of blue in it as well. And I love how it came out. I have been eyeing this yarn since I dyed it. I dyed this yarn like half a week ago, and I was like, oh man, I really want to show it on the podcast before I cast it on. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my birthday yarn. Oh, that color's not right. There you go. And it's sparkly and it makes me happy. And for the heels, toes, and cuffs, I'm using this. This is this is the yarn that I always dye. Deborah Norville Serenity Sock. And this was originally that brand's purple, but it was a bit more red than I wanted it to be, so I just kind of dunked it in like a blue purple dye bath. So it doesn't match perfectly, but it's close enough. So I'm super excited about these, and I will be casting these on probably today because I need to have these for my birthday. So yes, so these are a project that I am super excited about. Let me just tuck this back together and put the little band back on it. Look, I made a sock set. So yeah, that is going to be cast on ASAP. And then for my birthday dress, I'm going to be making one of these. Now these are pretty much like the same dress. I mean, slightly different, okay, slight differences in like the way the backs look and how deep the neckline is, but essentially it's the same idea. So if I do this one, I think I want to make the long dress just because that would be like so dope. And then this one, I would make this one as well. This one is about, it will probably come T-length on me, like mid-shin. And this one, of course, I'd be aiming at like floor length. I would be so fancy. Yo, I would be out of control. Maybe I don't need to make a floor length dress for my birthday. I don't know. I don't know. Which one? Vote below. Which do you think I should make for my birthday dress? This one or this one? This one is McCall's M6955, M6955, or McCall's M6953. Help me, help me. I'm making one of them. I'm super excited about it. I'm gonna have a birthday dress, I'm gonna have birthday socks, and I'm gonna do it all in a month. Go team, go. So yeah, those are all of my maker plans for now. And I counted this yarn in my stashquisitions, so there's that. I also received some happy mail. Now, back when we were doing Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, one of my wishes was for a skein of Madeline Tosh Tosh Merino Light, just because I had never used it before, and you don't really see it in a lot of the shops around here. So I was like, okay, well, you know, if I could get one for Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, that'd be wonderful. So during the time that I guess campaign was running, nobody granted that wish. So I was like, it's fine, whatever. And then a little while later, I get a message from a lovely lady on Instagram, and she said, hey, I saw that you wished for this yarn. I would love to send it to you. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah. So she sent me a ball of Tosh Merino Light. It is in the Crumble colorway, I believe. And here it is. Yay! I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. I've never used a singles yarn, so that's going to be an interesting experience for me. So yeah, any suggestions for a singles yarn? I'm excited. So when this came in the mail, it came in this bag. Now, you may look at this bag and say, huh, that bag is kind of big for that one piece of yarn. Because this awesome lady also found 5 skeins of Madeline Tosh. This is the chunky weight, and it's the Crumble colorway still. 5 balls of it. And she was like, I'm not going to use this, so with any luck, maybe it'll be a sweater's quantity for you. And y'all, of course, I had to go do some research. How much is in one of these skeins? How much do I have? Is that a sweater's quantity? Like, yeah, it's a sweater's quantity. I am going to knit my first indie dyed sweater. And I'm so excited. I think I've picked out the pattern. I will put the info at the bottom because I can't remember the name of the pattern right now, but it is, I believe, a top-down raglan. It has some like cabling on like the raglan increases. So, I mean, I could be setting myself up for failure, but go big or go home, right? I was calling this my birthday sweater, but that's definitely not happening before my birthday. I am going to cast it on though. So this, I took one of the wrappers out. Yeah. It is Tosh Chunky, 100% superwash merino, chunky weight, 165 yards per ball. I'm so happy. I don't know what they're running around for. So yeah, I will keep you guys, of course, in the loop as that sweater develops. It's also going to be my first time alternating skeins, so I'm a little bit freaked out about that. So what I figure I'm going to do is put the balls in order, like visually, and then I don't know if I'm alternating skeins, do I alternate like from the beginning, or do you like knit a chunk in one color and then alternate to change the color and then go into the next one? What is the best way to do it? Or should I do like every couple rows? Because that sounds completely insane to me, especially looking at how alternating the colors in my pie sock like made that ridge down the side. Like, I don't think I want that in my sweater, but you know, give me some information about that. I'm a complete newbie when it comes to working with indie dyed yarns in that way. So yeah, that's that. I think that's all of my new stuff. Oh, I had to get a new notebook. Why did I have to get a new notebook? Because crazy little Kalisha decided, oh, you know, I brought my tea to church in my travel mug and thought I closed the travel mug, put said travel mug in my purse, and dumped tea. The stuff was swimming in my purse. Like, it's ridiculous. So this is my old book. It looks a whole lot better now. Like, you can see the tea devastation. But I went ahead and got a new book because it smells funny now. It just made me so unhappy. Like, look at that. Everything ran. All of my layouts just trashed. And then I was practicing my brush lettering. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. So yeah, I am going to keep this notebook though. I'm just going to cut out the pages that were messed up. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of this notebook, but I'm going to keep it. Like I said, it smells funny, so I think maybe I will spray some Febreze on it, sit it outside in the sun to get rid of that smell. But yeah, I went ahead and got myself a new notebook from Michaels. Same thing, a dotted, just a dotted notebook. And yeah, I'm very happy with that decision. Because it would have just bugged me had I cut out the pages and continued trying to use the same notebook. It would have bugged me and I wouldn't have wanted to write in it. So, know thyself. Yeah. So that brings me to my life and whatnot section. Let's see. Hey, can you stop? Tell you, man, they just be out here yelling at people. They're so ornery. Life and whatnot. Over this past week, I have had like a bunch of moments where I was wondering if sharing my like craftiness online is even that important, you know? Like, does it matter? Am I just a drop in the bucket of, you know, like a speck of sand on the beach? Like, what does it really matter if I am even sharing anything? Does anybody care? Like, I had all of these thoughts coming in my head, which happens every so often, and I just have to push Crazy Town Kalisha back and keep on going. But this week, I specifically had two experiences that just made me feel like it is worth it. So the first was a message that I got on Ravelry. The person said that for some reason they couldn't leave a message on the video, so they sent it to me on Ravelry. And it just warmed my heart because she was talking about how she tried a technique again because it was something that I talked about doing, the German twisted cast on. And she said that she was trying to do it and she was failing at it, so she gave up, but then she saw me talking about it, so she decided to try again. And she tried until she got it. And she said that I am radiating. So that just made me feel like I am able, even in my little way, like sharing these things and talking about these projects and talking about trying the things that I'm afraid of doing, but doing it anyway. It's inspiring, like at least that one other person. And then the lady who gave me all that yarn, she also sent me like a beautiful note. And in the note, she said that she found my Instagram when she was looking for people who, what did she say? Were artistic and inspiring or something like that. But she thanked me for delivering. So it just those two experiences made me feel like if not for, if only to reach a couple people, and if only to inspire a couple people, or if only to share the positivity or share something good that happened to me with a couple people. Like, this is why I'm doing it. Like, this is why I sit down and I talk to you guys, because I'm excited about these projects and these things that I'm trying and these things that I'm learning, and I want to share that excitement with you guys. And it just made me feel all warm and fuzzy to receive some of that back, you know. So that was like a high point of this last week. Just so yeah, I really appreciate when you guys leave me messages, even if you're not telling me that I'm inspiring you to do things. Like, if you tell me that you tried a new technique and you were successful, or you tried a new technique and it was a flaming failure, but you're gonna keep trying until you get it, or you did something new, or anything. Like, share anything that happened to you that brought you joy. Like, these are the things that I love hearing. Things I don't love hearing. That dog screaming. She got such a big mouth. Be quiet. Don't come over here next to me barking. Don't you do it. So, let's see. I also uploaded a new video. It was one that I filmed back in November when I went to the Fiber Fantasy Retreat. Put it at the bottom. But I uploaded that video. Sorry, Kiva's kicking the tripod. That's how she feels right now. But it's definitely something that I want to do more of. Just like, follow me, not necessarily follow me around, but like, this is what I'm doing. Like, a couple more vlogs, and maybe intersperse them with the podcast, because I really enjoyed doing Vlogmas. That was super fun, and I have found myself, like, when I'm out and about, wanting to vlog or wanting to share like some experience with you guys. So more of those type of videos will be popping up on my channel, which I'm really excited about. And the last, oh wait, no, there's two last things. I got to meet one of my favorite podcasters this week. Joy from The Anxious Knitter was in town. She and her husband are going on a Disney extravaganza. And I'm so excited for them, because Disney is amazing. The fact that they're going to like all the parks and they're gonna experience all the stuff just makes me super happy, and I'm glad that they have the opportunity to do that, because I would love to do that. So I got to meet them. I got to hang out with them for a little bit at Disney Springs, and it was really cool. I've never met anybody from the internet before, so I was feeling like 18 kinds of anxious, and like, they were so nice. They were so nice, and didn't make me feel like a weirdo for being like, can I meet you guys? Evidently, I think I'm a lot weirder than I am. I think that's a good thing, that I'm not as weird as I think I am. Because in my head, I am one crazy bag of awkward. It's a good thing that that doesn't communicate. So yeah, I met them. It was a great experience. And then after I left hanging out with them, I was walking back to my car and passed by one of the Disney Springs like street performers, and they were like a juggling team, and at the end of their act they were juggling knives, and that was pretty amazing. So that definitely made me want to learn to juggle for real, for real. That was on my 30 by 30 list, which I totally failed at. I halfway learned to juggle. I have 3 learn to juggle kits, so I need to actually learn to juggle. Yeah, definitely not doing that before my next birthday. So yeah, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is a little bit of nerdy stuff. And for this, I'm bringing out my What We See in the Stars book, because if you did not know, the 31st of January will be a blue moon. And a blue moon is what happens, where is it? When there are 2 full moons within the month. So the first full moon of January was actually January 1st, and then the second full moon is going to be the 31st. So not only is it going to be a full moon, it's also still a super moon, because it's still, you know, very close to the earth, like in the rotations and all that stuff. Full moon, super moon, blue moon, and a full lunar eclipse. I'm gonna be outside looking at it. Now, as I've read, I don't think my area will actually be able to see the total full eclipse, like the total eclipse, but I don't care. I am going to be laying out in my front yard watching the moon, because like blue moons only happen every like 2 point something or another years. So yeah, when people say once in a blue moon, it's actually rare. So I wanted to pull out my book, and this is just like the information about the full moons. So the first moon of January was the wolf moon, and then you have like the blue moon when it's 2 full moons in 1 month, and then if there's 2 new moons in 1 month, that is called a dark moon. So yeah, super excited to see that. So I definitely encourage you, like if you are at all interested in things happening in outer space, just make sure that on the 31st you look at the moon, so you can be like, yeah, I saw that. And I'm gonna take a picture of it. It's probably not gonna be a good picture, but I don't care. I'm gonna have a picture of the full moon, super moon, blue moon, lunar eclipse. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be geeking out in my space-loving heart. That's the end of that. The last thing that I just want to mention to you guys, I am once again working on bags for my Etsy shop. I will be introducing a new bag design in February's update. So right now I do still have lots of like general fabrics, like nothing like holiday specific. Well, there are a couple of holiday specific ones in there, but there's a lot of other patterns in there still right now. And if you use the discount code QMC20, that will get you 20% off of your order. Go in there, take a look. There are large, medium, and small bags still available for you. I don't have a specific date set for the February update, but of course once I set that date, I will have that information out for you guys. If you are interested, I would love it if you go take a look at my shop. And I am considering putting some other types of products in the shop. The wheels are turning, but right now we are focusing on the bags. Like I said, there will be a new bag design in there, like bag construction design. Of course, there's always new fabric patterns going in the shop, but I will be doing a new shape. I think that's a better way of saying it. There's going to be a new shape in the shop come February, so definitely keep your eyes open for that. And use that coupon code QMC20 for 20% off of your order in the Quirky Monday Crafts Etsy shop. That's my Quirky Monday dance. Anywho, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. That is everything. I'm gonna go ahead and go inside, hang out with them loud dogs, cast on my socks. Yeah. Leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you this week so we can share that positivity with others so that we can all be radiant, not just me. I want everybody to be bright spots, bright in the corners where you are. And yeah, have a great day, week, month, year. Peace.